Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jeannie and I'm glad you could be here. We've got a mani challenge going on with the Double Dipp'd ambassador, so I'm going to show you what I submitted for this challenge. I went ahead and dipped my base color because I wanted to focus on the nail art for this video, but I do want to show you my base is Barely There by Double Dipp'd, which is a really great sheer pink color, and I topped that with my matte gel top coat because this challenge is matte nails with 3D art. For my 3D art, I'll be using Double Dipp'd's Hema Free Clear Builder Gel Blue Glow. This is actually a clear builder gel, it just has a blue glow. I did try using a gel top coat, it just wasn't thick enough to get that 3D look that I wanted, so you'll need something thick like a builder gel for this art. I'm just placing some of my builder gel on this palette so that's easier to use because I will be using my dotting tools and my nail art liner brushes, which you see off to the right. I'm going to start with my middle finger to begin creating my design, and I'll be using this dotting tool to help create those little grapes. So I'm going to dip that end into my builder gel and I'm just going to gently place that where I want the design to start. You want to be careful, you don't want to place it too hard because you still want it to be 3D. And I'm just going to gently place my dots. I want them to be close to each other, but I don't want them to touch because if they touch, they could bleed into each other and I want those defined circles. So I'm just going to place them to start creating my grape design. Once I'm happy with the design I've created, I'm going to use Awaken the Soul by Double Dipp'd, which is this beautiful purple color, and I'm going to pour over my dip powder. So I'm just using this little spoon to pour it over the wet builder gel. I don't want to dip my nail in because I don't want to disturb the builder gel and the design I created. So I'm just tapping off to see if I am happy with the coverage. I decide I want a little more coverage, so I'm just going to tap in a little bit more of that powder. Once I'm done flash curing, I'm going to dust off the excess powder so I can continue on with my nail art on my middle finger. I'm kind of designing this as I go, which is why you see me hesitating a bit, and before I place that dot, I decide I actually want smaller bunch of grapes down near my free edge. So I'm just wiping off that end of the dotting tool on a lint-free wipe, and I'm taking the smaller end of the tool and I'll start creating my grapes using the same process I used for the first bunch. Tracy, who is the owner of Double Dipp'd, thought it would be a fun idea to do a mani challenge among her ambassadors. So she actually made a post in the Double Dipp'd Facebook group on what kind of nail art they'd like to see in the challenge. And the one that got the most votes would be the one that we would do. So for this month, the 3D nail art on matte nails is the one that won. I tried multiple different designs and somehow, I don't know how, I ended up with grapes, but I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. So if you head over to the Double Dipp'd Facebook group right now, there is a poll up of all the ambassadors who participated in this challenge, their manis, and the voting is open till Monday at, I believe, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're in that Double Dipp'd Facebook group, go ahead and check it out because the manis are amazing. To complete my bunches of grapes, I'm going to use this beautiful green by Double Dipp'd Regifter for my stems and leaves. I'll be using the liner brushes from the Painted Desert. This is my 5mm liner brush, so it's one of the shorter brushes. And I'll be using that to dip into my builder gel and draw out my stems and my leaves. I will say these painted desert liner brushes are some of my favorites to use because they are the thinnest ones that I have, so they're a lot easier to use for more detailed line art. I know this is a little bit hard to see because it is a clear builder gel, but for my leaves, I'm just drawing a little dot where I want the leaf, and then I'm gently dragging out to a little point at the end and just kind of rounding out and making that leaf shape. And now we're done with our first finger. Isn't it cute? I don't know how I ended up with grapes, but I'm happy I did. So now we're gonna move on and do a similar process to my thumb. And as you can see here, I'm trying to figure out which way I want the grapes to be, because it's really gonna depend on which way I hold my hand on whether it's upside down or not. So I think I'm gonna do it with my thumb pointing up. But then I decide, it kind of should go the other way. So you kind of see me pausing, trying to figure out how exactly I want to do the design. I've been starting to see people do their fall manis, so I'm curious, are you still doing your summertime manis or have you transitioned into your fall manis? I will say fall is my favorite season of the year. I love the cooler weather. But it's just so hot here that I cannot bring myself to do fall manis just because it doesn't feel like it, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm still doing the summertime manis, but for this I figured grapes are neutral. I don't really feel like they're fall or summer, so I think this kind of fits in kind of that transition period. So drop your comments down below on what season you're doing. Popping in really quickly to say that little spot where I accidentally got builder gel, I was worried about powder sticking to it because I don't want any green there. So I just took some isopropyl alcohol and a little Q-tip and just wiped that area to remove any excess gel. And what I was trying to avoid, I got my builder gel a little bit too close and they started to blob together, so I'm just gently trying to separate out to make individual grapes. And here's how we're looking so far. I do want to do a different design on my remaining nails, so I'll be using my 12mm liner brush from the Painted Desert and drawing vines. Now when you're doing longer lines, I do suggest using a longer liner brush. It makes less work and it's easier that way. And you draw, especially if you're drawing straighter lines, it's easier drawing straighter lines as well. So I don't really have a pattern or a style in mind. I'm just kind of freehanding it on where I feel like vines should be. I'm going to use my 5mm liner brush to start creating some leaves. I don't really have a pre-planned design or pattern in mind, just wherever I feel like a leaf might look good, I'll be filling it in and creating it there. I do prefer the 5mm brush because it is a shorter brush, so it is easier for smaller details. If you're curious why I'm pouring over my mint craze before I've done my leaf design, I've actually created more vines in this and I don't want to disturb the lines or accidentally move them. So I'm pouring over my mint craze, flash curing, and then I'll go in and start my leaf design. I've been flash curing my nails along the way, but once I'm done with all my designs, I'm going to give it a full 60-second cure. And to remove any excess powder on my base color, I'm just taking some rubbing alcohol and wiping down my nails. And no mani is complete without finishing off with some cuticle oil. Today I'll be using Scales of a Mermaid I Make Poor Decisions. I figured what's more fitting than a wine-scented cuticle oil. And this one smells so good. Trust me, you need this in your collection if you don't have it. And here is my final submission for my 3D Mani challenge. What do you think? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it helps YouTube recommend me to others. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.